Okay, welcome. What can I tell you? Here we are for the 10th meeting of the NeuroImaging Training Program summer course. You are our final class of students for this, so you should be excited. I'm excited for you. We've decided to ask everybody to prepare 2 truths and a lie, and I think that I made that request of everybody over the weekend, so here are my 2 truths and a lie. They are, though I perform hypnosis, I am not hypnotizable. I'm a college dropout, and my lab director advised me to leave science. So you can think about that as you get to know me, and we'll vote at the end, and you'll decide. So let me start off by telling you just a wee bit about the training program. The genesis of this thing happened many, many years ago, now almost 12 years ago, when we lobbied successfully, as it happens, to the National Institutes of Health that there really should be a training program in neuroimaging to sort of organize people's thinking about that. Because in fact, neuroimaging was, as the way we do this stuff, was a relatively new thing at the time. So the NIH put together an extraordinary program in which they got multiple institutes within the National Institutes of Health to coalesce to add funding to the program. And they set it up so that it includes both, I'm sorry about the green highlighting here, they set it up so that it includes both the summer program that you're participating in here, and also fellowships for the students. We've been here for 10 years with it, successfully renewed it, so we've had something on the order of 50 fellowships that we've given out for the program, all in neuroimaging. And there are 2 other programs that were funded originally with this, a program at Pittsburgh run by Sanji Kim, and a program at Harvard run by Bruce Rosen and his group. We've enjoyed continuous funding since 2006 from the National Institutes of Health. As I mentioned, there's the graduate program. The graduate program is local to the institution, and then we receive $100,000 a year to run this program, which is a large budget, and it's a large enough budget that we are able to bring in lavish speakers and put you in nice rooms and all the other stuff from here. There have been approximately 350 students trained in this classroom as part of this. To kind of put that in perspective, the Organization for Human Brain Mapping gets about 1,800 people, 2,000 people in here. So what's the right number? 2,000, geez, 3,000 now, okay. So 10% of the people in there, maybe roughly. Although there's a huge outreach from this because we also, as you know, webcast the program. We have had an extraordinary run of extraordinary students from here. I'm very, very proud of these pictures, which simply show some of the many, many faces who we've seen in here. And, it's been a gas. Really great people. Oh, I'm sorry. These numbers are all over the map. About 350 total summer students. And we've, one of the nice things about the funding for us is that even though it's a US-sponsored program, we're allowed to bring in students from all over the world. So a partial list of countries that people brought from here: Australia, Belgium, Brazil, Canada, China, Egypt, Germany, India, Italy, France, Hungary, Japan, Mexico, Netherlands, Poland, Portugal, Spain, Switzerland, Turkey, the UK, and of course the US. So that's really great. So that was a very generous thing that the NIH did. It's very unusual for them to do that. We've also have a classroom program which has been running for 10 years. There have been about 150 people gone through that. And as I say, we've given out 50 fellowships. This year's class, we had just under 100 applicants, generating, since you know what we put into those things, 1,100 pages of material. Each of the application was read by at least 3 people, evaluated by the group, ranked, Just to give you some sense, on average, we have people who have 4 first authored papers, which is pretty damn good for people at your training level here. 6 papers as co-authors and 13 abstracts. So high productivity is one of the things we actually have been looking for with this. Your group is also international. So we have roughly 20% of the people are non-US in the room, which I'm also excited about with that. The program, as you know, is webcast, and just as a housekeeping matter, the webcast will include the speakers and the slides, but not the students, other than the questions that people ask. This is probably going out live right now. I assume it is. You're also welcome if, for whatever reason, you want to watch these things on your computer, but I can't say that I recommend that, since I never get any eye contact anyway. So just to orient you to our very complicated schedule. So first of all, as you look at the schedule, we are set up with a couple of different color schemes in here. The light gray represents stuff that's going on as normal classroom teaching, which is most of the content from this. We also have a couple of public keynote speakers, and for those ones we're going to move out of this classroom into a different room because we've invited a larger community of people to be here for that. And we've tried to provide time both before and after to make sure that it's easy to get to and from. In addition, we have a series of labs. The labs are in darker gray over there. They're participatory. We have a lot of software which is available on the website for download and installation. How many people here have downloaded and installed the software for the course? The majority, but not all. Okay, all right. We're not going to do a lab today, but make sure that we get that stuff installed on your computer, in the next 24 hours. We can help you with that. Okay. Then, in addition, we have a couple of group and student-based things going on in here. This year, we have decided to do a little icebreaker in the form of truth and lies, the thing you saw there before in a small bio. We also have opportunities for students to go ahead and give brief presentations of their work, which is a really good way to start networking going. I also want to call your attention to the little button that says feedback. That will point you to a web link which has a survey form in which you can rate us all. In practice, we are not going to be using that rating as we have in prior years to design next year's course. However, we're all extremely interested in the feedback we get, and everybody who is teaching here is professional about it, cares about it incredibly, and we'll always like the feedback. Then I'm not sure what I had in mind over here. Yes, on Thursday night, we have a group dinner. The group dinner is always a lot of fun. I edited out the pictures of people dancing on tables, but that happens, and it's great. And we really encourage you to have fun with that because that's part of the experience of being a scientist. Getting to know everybody. The week 2 schedule has another keynote here, and I think there's another keynote here on Wednesday that are going to be outside of the classroom. These are wonderful invited speakers, and you'll enjoy that, I'm sure. We also, on the final day, have a career panel, which is mostly just sort of everybody here, well, most of the people here, other than the people in the back row, are relatively young in their careers, and we really want to foster everybody going forward, and so that's an important part. Another fun piece of this is that the program officer who is on the inside at NIH most responsible for setting up the training program funding participates, and so it's a Q&A session that's always good. And on Wednesday, the second week, we set aside time to do a photo day. If you feel a need to pretty up on Wednesday morning for your photos, by all means, go ahead. We use those as souvenirs. And then finally, this year, we are going to, as group projects, we're going to be having little debate teams. We'll be talking to you more about that later. I think that our staff are going to work out exactly how we're going to organize that, but that should be fun. So a few topics that might be fun for debates. I'm just going to leave these. You've got the downloadable slides on here rather than read through all of these. But we thought a little bit about what might be kind of fun ideas that were worth talking about. But surely there will be others, and by all means, find a sense of humor in it too. You'll have more fun if you do that. Okay, so then I want to introduce you to a couple of people who will be participating throughout. First of all, you probably all met as you came in, Nadia Conway, Naxley Cortez, and Brandon Magno. I'm sorry about the typo on that name. Andrew Cho has been somebody you've probably all communicated with one way or another, who's been handling all of our software and technical infrastructure for the course. Melina Beatrice, who for many years has been the sort of heart and soul of administering the course. Right now she is out on maternity leave. Hopefully she'll be able to show up and you'll meet her. She's a great time and an incredible resource to everybody here. And then core faculty include Agatha Lenardowicz, who will be coming soon, Jesse Risman and Martin Monti. Jesse's already here. Martin has come in and out already. Oh, Martin's standing outside the door or something, doing science on the telephone, I imagine. And Susan Buchheimer in the back row. Hi, Susan. Mark Roseborough is our videographer. Hi, Mark. Make sure that this is a shareable experience with everybody here. By all means, if you have questions relating to process and setup and so on, ask any of these staff, Nadia, Naxley, or Brandon. If you have questions relating to computers, it's going to be probably mostly email with Andrew, but I believe you got his email. Did he send emails to you? You probably have that. No? Okay, I'll circulate that for you. Agatha and Martin and Jesse and Susan and myself will all be delighted to answer questions about science. Most of us will spend most of these 2 weeks in the room as much as possible. This is an incredibly dedicated faculty who we've worked with for many years in this course and who put an enormous amount of effort into this. We have an outstanding faculty of guest speakers. These are only the people who are repeat performers for us here. We have several new faculty each year, but we bring people back who have done extraordinary jobs for this. So our repeat offenders, Susan Buchheimer, Vince Calhoun, Pamela Douglas, Dan Ennis, Jack Gallant, Steve Grant, Jim Haxby, Agatha Lenardowicz, Martin Lindquist, Leo Moore, Martin Monti, Russ Poldrak, Jesse Risman, Dave Shattuck, Tali Arconi, Van Wedeen. These are all terrific high-end speakers who all just, they come here and have fun too. I know they have fun. Okay. And hopefully all the students do. This was one of the student groups doing a presentation in rap one year. It was great. Okay, so just to sort of do our process here, how many people think number 1 is true? There's 1. That was easy. How many people think number 2 is true? Nobody's even voting, all right? And how about number 3? All right, well, so in point of fact, I am a college dropout twice. Dropped out of 2 schools. My lab director did indeed suggest that it would be a good idea if I found a career other than science, and I am highly hypnotizable, which turned out to be an amazing fact. You know, you tend to think that you're like, somehow if you're smart or something, it's not going to happen, but it's not the way it works.